my channel. This is my first official, see, it was a little hard for me. This is my first official video ever. If you're seeing this right now, that means that it has finally left my archives and it has made it onto uploading. But YouTube has always been something that has lingered in the back of my mind, like, and that it haunts me like every day, how I could have already been starting a channel, but I've like put it off for some time now. Now that I finally do have a little more time in my hands, I thought that there really isn't an excuse that can prevent me from finally making one. So here we are. So I wanted to create this look that kind of shows a transition into fall, incorporating like emerald green for leaves and a little bit of a burnt orange feel, and of course brown lips. So I mean, without further ado, let's get started. No matter if we're slipping into the fall season, you're always going to want to moisturize and protect your face. So I'm going to be using the MAC Studio Moisture Fix, and this has SPF 15. So I'm going to get a good amount of that product, and I'll go ahead and apply this with my hands all over my face. Alright, going into our foundation routine, I'll be using Matchmaster 1.5. This product is actually more for combination skin, although it does give a really nice natural matte finish. I have pretty much normal skin, but I do like to use this because when I work, I notice that it stays on like all day. So what I'll usually do is I'll start by getting an even amount of the product on my face so that when I apply it with my beauty blender, it will be a lot easier. That way you don't waste as much product too if you were to put it directly onto the sponge. I'm so nervous, guys. I hope you're having fun watching me. Just kidding. Okay, so now I'll just go ahead and take my damp beauty blender and I'll blend that. Or I'll go ahead and use like bulldozing motions to get that into my skin. Alright, so after the foundation, I'm moving on to concealer, and we'll be using, of course, our MAC Pro Longwear concealer, and this is in the shade NC20. I am actually NC20, so I found that to play into more of a highlighting technique, I'll sometimes use an NW15. But before doing so, I'll put a small layer of the NC20 just so I can color correct my eyes before using a product with a pink undertone. I'm going to take my middle finger and I'll kind of spread that out and try my best to make an inverted triangle under my eyes, which is the upside down triangle. And then we'll go ahead and blend that out with our beauty blender. Focusing more so under the eyes and then continuing the story down onto our cheek. And actually, so concealer is, nowadays the trend is more so for highlighting, but it is naturally for disguising extra discoloration and hiding redness. So naturally you're gonna want to go like anywhere you're a little more red. Like me, it's gonna be around my nose. Okay, now to set our face, I'm going to be using MAC's Mineralize Skinfinish, and this is in light. If you're an NC20 like me, you could probably go for a light plus 2, but since I do like being a little more light, I'm using light. And I'll be using Sigma's for F20 brush. I already have a lot of product on this brush. This is a large powder. So to avoid being a plate full of foundation, I'm going to be bronzing my face using a custom Anastasia kit, and I'll be using the shade Copper Brown right here. And I'll also be using a Morphe angled contour brush. This is the M405. Can't even see. Now I know. And I usually use like a circular motion towards my temple and make my way downward to really hug my cheekbone, or what little cheekbone I have, you feel me? I think it's appropriate to move on to our brows. So as for brows, I'm using Anastasia's Dipbrow Pomade. You all know what this looks like, and I'm using the shade Dark Brown. I'd be using the shade Chocolate, but my sister would kill me for taking hers, so you know. And I'll also be using Anastasia's 12 brush. I really like this brush because it comes with a spoolie at the end, and I usually like to spoolie out my brows to create more of a natural gradient. now go ahead and spoolie out my brows to create that natural gradient. And then I'll go in with my brow gel too. This is from Anastasia as well. And this is her clear brow gel.
In a simple way, try to keep arm's length. Now you're trying to complicate it. Want to know where we're going. You're seeking reason not to leave it.
Right now, finally moving on to our eyes. I'm using Urban Decay's Eden Primer.
It's for you to lean on. Distance brings us closer. We're gonna feed the flame. 'Cause these days.
And remember that an even amount of product makes for an even application, so you're going to want to make sure that you apply that all throughout your lid. Okay, moving onward, I'm using MAC Saddle. And then you're going to start applying this into the crease.
I only want you on the weekend. My love is lost and found. You're like the penny on the pavement.
Now I'll be using a large shader brush. This is Sigma's E60, and I'll go into the Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe, and I'll use this green here. So we're really going to pack this eyeshadow on, so don't be afraid to get too much product.
I'll pick you up, I'll put you down. I only want you on the weekend. My love is lost and found.
Now going into our crease shade, I'll be using the Lorac palette. Mine is so beat up that I don't even want to show you guys, but I'll be using this black.
You're like a penny on the pavement. I'll pick you up, I'll put you down.
And we're going to buff out all the shades here. And I'm just running this brush really back and forth.
I only want you on the weekend. I only want you on the weekend.
Now is the time to touch up any of the black shadows that we put on, or even our lid.
I only want you on the.
Alright, now we're going to go into liner. So I'm going to be using the Schwing liner. This is my favorite eyeliner because it's ultra black. The only thing is it isn't waterproof. So if you are someone who is prone to teary eyes, I definitely do not recommend it.
Am I tripping?
Alright, now going in with Sigma's E20 brush. This should be the short shader. I'm going to be using Saddle once again. And for mascara, I'm using MAC Zoom Lash. Alright, so before I put on lashes, I want to finish up the rest of my face. So as for blush, I'll be using MAC's Prism. So I'm going to dust this on the apples of my cheeks, just for a little flush of color. Alright, as for highlight, I'll be using the Marylou Manizer, because even if it's fall, we still want to glow, right? In the winter, I'm still going to want to glow from like Mars. Winter is coming. Going on to lips, I'll be using MAC Spice Lip Liner, MAC Persistence. I do notice that my brow hairs are still a little more sparse than I'd like them to be, so I'm going to go in with Anastasia's Brow Wiz, and this is in the shade Chocolate. So I got a little bit of beginner's luck and my camera died, so I wasn't able to show you guys what lashes I put on, but they are the MAC 43s. So if you got to this point, that means you've watched the whole video and you don't know how much that means to me. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, comment for any looks that you'd like to see in the future, and of course subscribe to my channel to stay tuned. I'll have all my social media links and products in the description below. See you guys in my next video. Thank you so much. And this has a total of SPF 15. What am I saying?